Okay, and welcome to our video where we're going to put together the Alien Invasion game, and we're going to use their base resource, the Python Crash Course 2nd Edition, written by Eric Mathis and published by the No Starch Press. So it's a great resource. We thank them for putting together a wonderful tutorial on the Python system. And if you're interested in reading more about Python, check out that book. But what we're going to do here is we're going to start our project. And when we begin a project with Python, particularly one that's going to have multiple files that are all related to each other, different modules, if you will. First thing you want to do is kind of create a folder to keep them all together. So we're going to start by creating a new folder. Actually, let's start by closing any of our open tabs here. So blank screen, everything's closed. You see here I have my Python programs folder open with the things that we've been working on previously. And when I hover here, it gives me the option to create a new folder. So I'm going to do that. In this folder, I'm just going to call it Alien Invasion. And I'll just create that. You see it's highlighted here. Now that it's open, we're going to go ahead and create a new file. And notice that that creates the file inside of the folder Alien Invasion. And so we're looking at that, and we're going to go ahead and create the Alien Invasion .py. And we'll go ahead and hit enter. And now that opens it up for us. Now, what might be a nice idea for you to ensure that we're putting everything in the right spot is now that that's created, let's go up here to File, Open Folder, and click from File, Open Folder. And we'll go into Python Programs, and then we have our Alien Invasion folder. We'll double click it and we'll select that folder. And so now it brings us to here, and now that kind of clears out that space. All we see is the files that are actually in Alien Invasion. So if you don't see your alieninvasion.py file, then I suggest you go back and rewatch the first couple minutes of this and try to set this up correctly. I'm going to go ahead and open up Alien Invasions, minimize that, and we're going to get started here on writing our alieninvasions.py file. Now the thing about this file is that we are going to be using a lot of stuff from the Pygame library. Pygame is not part of the standard library, so we're going to need to install it. So we're going to click down here in the bottom and we'll type in, actually let me just go here and run this without debugging. There it goes, it's popping up there. All right, here we go. So now that I see it's on my PS, you see the file pathway here, and now I can start to type in. So what we're going to type in is pip, and that's the type of installation program that's built into Python. And we're going to do pip install Pygame. Now, I've already got it installed on my computer, so what you see that comes next will look a little bit different from you than what it looks like for me. But when you click that, it's going to process that. It's going to tell me, I've already got, it's already satisfied because I have Pygame. Yours is probably downloading. You may see some progress bars right now. But eventually you'll get back to this line in your terminal indicating that you're finished. So now that I've got Pygame installed, I'll come up here, and the first thing I'm going to do is import a few things. So I'm going to import sys, that's a system file that is built into your Python already. So we're going to import that, and we're going to import Pygame as well. And now we have those two imports. Now, so to begin this main kind of program, we're going to create a class called Alien Invasion. And notice that I'm using Alien Invasion camel cased because when you create classes, the convention is to capitalize the first letter, and if there's multiple words, we use camel casing. We don't use the underscores when we're creating classes. So I am going to create a doc string here. So this is going to be the overall class to manage all of our game assets and behaviors. We'll just close that. And then again, anytime you make a class, the first thing you want to do here is write your init. And this is trying to define things for me in a way that I don't want to get into with you guys. So definition init, remember self is a parameter that must always be called when you're declaring a new function or method, but you don't use it as an argument. So what is our init going to do? It is going to initialize the game and create game resources. And so we're going to do that using Pygame. So the Pygame init, so we'll call it pygame.init. And that will initialize Pygame. And then we're going to do self.screen. So we're going to create an attribute called screen, and we're going to assign that to a Pygame.display, and we're going to call the set mode. So display is a class that exists within Pygame, and set mode is a method for that class. And 1200 by 800 establishes the size of our screen that we're going to create. And then we're also going to call Pygame.display, and we'll set the caption. And we'll set the caption to say Alien Invasion. All right, so make sure we called everything. That looks good. So that's our init method for now. Now, as I go through this, you're going to see that I'll start by just kind of initializing things in kind of a simple way. But as we go through, we start adding new layers, some new complexity and more functionality. You'll see that I'm going to come back to some of these methods and code, and we're going to refactor it. Refactoring is when you rewrite code to kind of simplify it or to write it in a different way that makes the new code that you're going to be entering easier and makes things work nicer. And you don't always know how you're going to write code the most efficient way until you get into writing. And sometimes you realize later, maybe I should change this to simplify it a bit. And so that we'll model some of that for you in a bit. So we've got our init method. We also need to write another method here called run game. And again, we'll call the self method, or the self parameter. And this is going to start the main loop for the game. And what we're going to do in here is we'll establish a while loop. We'll set it up while true. And again, setting up a while loop with true as the condition is a little bit dangerous because true is always going to be true. So it's going to be an infinite loop, except we set up some condition inside of our while loop that will, when triggered, will stop it from running. So let's start by telling it that we are going to watch for keyboard events. Keyboard and mouse. All right. Because again, what we're doing here is this loop is going to be running, and events are things that happen in the game that we program for, so that when we press certain buttons, we want certain actions to happen. And so those events can be caused by pressing certain keys on the keyboard, pressing certain things with your mouse if you click a certain area. And so we're going to be looking for those, because that's how we're going to stop the main game loop. So for event in Pygame events get. So we're looking for an event in pygame.event.get. So it's going to collect events, and for each one that it captures, it's going to be looking in there. And if that event.type is a pygame.quit, then we're going to call a sys.exit. And so that's how we get out of this while loop, right? So the while loop runs, and we're going to be doing different things with the mouse, different things with the keyboard, and those events are going to be captured by pygame.event.get. And this for loop will look through each one of those events, and if it finds an event type that's the same as a pygame.quit, then it's going to call system.exit, and that's going to stop our loop from running. But we're also going to be doing a couple other things. For now, we're just going to put one more in here, and we're going to say to make the most recent or most recently drawn screen visible. All right, so our program is going to be drawing a screen, and then we're going to move the alien. The aliens are going to be moving back and forth. We're going to be moving our ship back and forth. We're going to be shooting, and each of those things is going to draw new things on. And then we're going to keep redrawing the screen, and through that process, it gives us a nice fluid-looking motion. And so that's what we're going to be doing here within this main loop of the run game loop. And so we're going to do that with a pygame.display.flip. And that's just simply going to be drawing the most recent screen. Okay, so there is the first shot at our alien invasion class, right? Our alien invasion class, we're going to have an init method which creates a self.screen, and we create a run game method, and that's it. So now down here, to make this all happen now, we're going to check if underscore name equals underscore main. And so what this is a very common thing. Briefly, I'll describe it as when a program runs, if it's run directly, then its name will be main. But if I run it from a different program, it will display something else. So we're checking to make sure that we're running this program directly from our alieninvasion.py. And we're going to come down here and we'll put a little code in here that says that it makes the game instance. So if we're running it directly, we're going to make a game instance and we're going to run the game. All right, that's what we want to happen if we run it. So we're going to create AI for Alien Invasion, and we're going to instantiate an Alien Invasion class. And then we're going to call the run game method. And there we go. We have now written the beginning of our code, and we've told it what to do. So what you can do right now is you can hit the run without debugging, and you're going to see a window pop up. And this is a 1200 by 800 window. You can see that we've set our caption to be Alien Invasion. And here's our screen. We haven't done anything interesting with it yet. That's going to be in our next video. But this is what we're doing. It's constantly redrawing and it's capturing some events, but none of them are quit events. But I can close this screen, and then it realizes that I've closed the program. That's one of the system.exits that we have. So there we go. That's the beginning. I hope you're excited and to make this game, and continue looking for more videos, and we'll get this game built. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.